I'm Paul Garofoli, otherwise known as the Annuity King, co-hosting with the James Rankin of Moody Insurance Group, your independent consultant for annuities. I'm with the company, National Western Life. He's with an independent annuity expert platform at Moody Insurance Group. So, James, you say hello as well.
Absolutely. It's great to be with everybody.
So, what we want to talk about, speaking of that, my good friend James Rankin, I told you all about him. He's an author, he's a playwright, he's a public speaker, he's a philanthropist, he does a lot of great things. But you know what he's really good at? Annuity training. And so he's an expert on annuities, he's an expert on training, and not only for National Western Life, but there are other companies that you can access. And so make a note of that, take a picture with your cell phone, get that email, James Rankin, annuity help, annuity expert, 800-252-4002. And you know, what James will do is, if National Western Life is the best solution for your client, he'll do National Western Life, but he also has access to some other companies and products. And if they are a better fit for your sales situation, you'll get the best of the best. So that's the beauty of that.
So, Paul, one of the things that we said earlier, buddy, is with Case, we are going to focus entirely on National Western. So we are going to make that our bread and butter. Great way to start. So
all right, we won't let any of those other lesser companies leak in then. Okay, but nonetheless, you are an expert. So James, why don't you share some basic concepts here about robbing your clients and prospects, robbing your family members? What's that all about?
Yeah, actually, it's just a clever acronym. It kind of helps you remember. I like acronyms because you're able to assimilate information, and it always comes natural. So when you do your presentations, I'll talk about acronyms that you can remember. But I like this because, remember, here's the beautiful part about annuities. You've already got the clients. The clients are in your file cabinets. You're already doing life insurance. You're doing other benefits. So now you're simply going to educate them on a new product and service that you have. And Paul, you had a great analogy last week with that. So we're saying, hey, you're my client. I have a new service I want to share with you. And so you review their benefits. One of the things I'll make available next week is the 25-point checklist for annuities. If somebody already has annuities, I congratulate them. That's fantastic. I'm glad you had the foresight to get an annuity. But let's take a look at this checklist and make sure that this annuity has all the benefits that you're entitled to. Let's make sure it's up to date because there's been a lot of changes. So we do that. Another tremendous way to get in front of your clients and also new clients is what I call review of beneficiaries. No matter what type of investment they have, CDs, savings, banks, mutual funds, IRAs, there's always a beneficiary designation. So this is a wonderful way to get in front of somebody, and I call it the beneficiary audit. Let's make sure that your beneficiaries are the ones who you want to designate. Invariably, when you review it, a lot of people have a grandparent who's passed away, an ex-spouse who's still a beneficiary. So we do this for their protection. And I'm telling you, it's a wonderful way to give them a free service, but it opens the door up to allow you to talk to them about other services. So that's what I enjoy. And then the things we talked about yesterday or last week was very powerful qualifying questions. Do you have any money coming due? That is a money maker right there, because everybody has something coming due. A CD, maybe they need to add to their IRAs, maybe they have an old account, but what's coming due? What is available? And then from there, what do you do with that interest? Are you compounding or are you using it? I may have a better way for you. So those are some ideas there, Paul.
Great, James. That's awesome. And then what I like to say is you insure your car, you insure your house. Why not insure your retirement? Ultimately, annuities are retirement insurance. Annuities are insured retirement plans. Now, from this point forward, what I want you to be thinking about, Next Vision associates, is those clients, those prospects, those potential recruits, as we touch upon different things that you can offer by way of National Western Life and James Rankin and Case Vang on how we can help solve their problems. So keep that in mind. And with that, this is a reminder from last week, the annuity treasure map, all the different life events, job changes, retirement contemplation, marriage, divorce, all these things trigger a responsibility and a requirement to update your financial plans. And so all these things are opportunities. If you're in touch with your warm market, if you're in touch with your recruiting base, if you're in touch with your client base, you can have these discussions about an insured retirement, about paying yourself, and ultimately where the treasure truly is income for life that we can provide, and no other financial service provider and manufacturer can do that. And again, a simple way, I want to explain how these things work. And we want to keep it simple. You need to keep it simple for yourself. You need to keep it simple for your clients. So this is, again, from last week, and we'll go into new content in just a moment, is annuity tic-tac-toe, or as I like to say, annuity tic-tac-dough, because this means money that is kept safely for your client and money that you'll earn for placing business with National Western Life. And so remember, basically, the ends of the extreme. On one side, low interest by way of CDs and money markets, but it's safe. It's pretty certain. Banks are pretty much a sure thing. Not going to get much, but okay. But people are complaining about that. And man, the second that somebody complains about what they're earning in their CDs, their money markets, their bank accounts, do you have a better way? Have you heard about anything? Man, maybe I should get me some of that Bitcoin. Holy mackerel. Do you want your grandmother buying Bitcoin? God bless you and God bless her. So on the other hand, you have investments, you have stocks and mutual funds. And hey, don't get me wrong, I got those things. Many people have those things. But, that's money that I'm not worried about losing. That's money that I'm not worried about losing value at 25 or 30%, as it did in March, just this year, 30%. 2008, the financial meltdown, a 60 to 70% decline in value in stocks and bonds. 65%. That's real money. Now, I look like an old guy, and I'm kind of an old guy, but I had the wisdom to say I still have time before retirement. So the point here is, if you're in those vehicles, you're in risk of loss, risk of losing value. And so is there something in between? And that is the fixed index annuity, ladies and gentlemen. We have safety with billion-dollar organizations like National Western Life, highly rated, highly regulated, impeccable blue chip investment portfolio, keeping your clients' money safe, but offering them growth potential in both the accumulation value in their contract, but also, even more important in my view, the income value and what it has to offer. One more concept. James, I want to bring you back on, even though I'm showing myself. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's me at age 21 at the University of Massachusetts. Now, you look at James, there's something wrong because he's a little bit younger than me, but not that much younger. But man, he's looking good. He looks youthful. So, but James, I want you to talk about the paying your future self, that within yourself today, within Next Vision's clients and prospects is who? Who is that person that's in them? You tell them about that.
No, absolutely. One of the things that we feel is very important is, as you're, and I mentioned this a little bit last week, but let's reiterate on it. As you're sitting down with your client, you've got to get them to look into the future. And I'm going to I know this may be, I hate to use the word metaphysical, but in a way it is. Because what you're talking about is getting them to shift from their left brain. Remember, each of us has two hemispheres in our brain. You realize that? You have the left and you have the right. The secret to selling, and I promise you this is so true, and if you look at your book of business, you'll see that I am correct. You've got to get your client to shift from left brain thinking to right brain thinking. When I'm in my left brain, I'm analyzing you. I'm judging you. I'm critiquing you. But if I shift to the right brain, I'm suddenly accepting, I'm more open, I'm more imaginary, I'm more creative. So Paul kind of hit it on the head. And that is, when you're talking about a younger person, you kind of go back, you're now shifting to your right brain. And that's the side that buys. That's the key. So what we came up with, and this is Paul's ingenuity here with Time Machine. I just simply said, when you're sitting down with somebody, I tell them that here are two people. I'm sitting down with a 40-year-old or a 35-year-old, or in Tasha's situation, a 25-year-old, but also sitting there is a 65-year-old. And the only money that older person is going to have is the money that the younger person sends ahead. So if you look at this picture, it's a perfect illustration on a young man who is sending money to the older man, and hopefully the wiser man. But it is true, because I've thought of that myself, and I've done that. And it's a good feeling to know that that young man took care of the older guy. And you can share that with your clients.
Yeah. So if you think about it, it's like, well, I'm too young. That's annuities are for old people. And, one of the things that we try to do here, James, is, a lot of the associates are young, like Tessa. Tesha, we applaud that. That's amazing. And you go, oh, well, I only know younger people. Well, that young man right there on the left, man, look at that. I've had this beard for over 40 years, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what happened up here, but this is still hung in there. But that young man was putting money into Social Security. That young man was putting money into retirement plans. And now at age 60, yeah, you thought I was older. I'm just at age 60. I'm still a pup. Now, that money I put away 40 years ago is going to come due to me, is going to pay me whenever I retire in the next 5 to 7 years. So this is the idea. Money put away today is like an annuity time machine transported to the future. Now, the beauty is, whether it's the DeLorean from Back to the Future or the old school H.G. Wells time machine, that money grows tax deferred. That money can accumulate. We can provide features that guarantee lifetime payouts now. Amazing things that you can do, and you can do those today for people of any age. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Now, that was kind of remedial and reinforcing from last week. Let's kind of rock and roll now, James, here. What do we do at National Western Life? We do annuities and single premium life. Now, I know you have many fine companies at Next Vision. So we do not compete. If you have Foresters, we don't compete with Foresters, National Life Group, Mutual of Omaha, whoever it is that you have there on the life side. We have only one life product, which is really in the annuity family. So keep that in mind. So we're primarily annuities and then a specialty product, single premium life. And what we're really good at is lifetime income. So if you have anybody thinking about retirement, wanting to save for retirement, we are the #1 company for that. And I'll demonstrate that in a little bit. Something else to consider, we talked about it briefly last week. Who do we work with? Well, we work with U.S. residents. We work with the culturally diverse markets. In our marketing department, we have people that speak English, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Mandarin, and Cantonese, dialects of the Chinese language. So we're able to support people all throughout the company, including you. Maybe English isn't your primary language. We can help you with that. And then finally, we have a market for foreign nationals. So now what do we mean by foreign nationals? What's the definition there? That means that somebody that lives and works in another country, typically, and is visiting here for business, for vacation, to come see you, your cousins across the ocean from wherever they are, they can buy an annuity from National Western Life while they're here. So if you got relatives in the Philippines, in the Pacific Rim, you have more customers, more prospects because of that. Most of our annuities are flexible premium. What do we mean by that? That means you can make contributions. You can make an installment plan into that retirement, into that insured retirement plan. A lot of annuities, they take a lump sum and that's it. Can't put any more money in it. It doesn't make sense. A lot of people want to make IRA contributions. We do a lot of IRA business, individual retirement accounts, where you establish an account here and then put more money in over time. Most of our annuities are flexible premium. And then not only that, the money that comes in, typically, we will bonus, meaning we will add money to their account. Hey, does your bank do that? Does your bank, if you put $10,000 into your bank account, do they put another $500 on top of that? At National Western Life, we do that with our 5% bonus products. And today, James, you can hardly get a toaster at the bank.
You know what's interesting, Paul, and this is something we're going to go over next week. I'm telling you, you are in for a treat, because when you can sit down with your client, and what I always do is I say, let's just look at what you're doing right now. Most people, in fact, my office is in a bank building, and if you give us $100,000 to Moody Bank, we'll pay you 50 basis points on top of that. Can you imagine that? So think about that for a second. National Western will be able to provide your clients a 9% bonus. Now, once again, depends on age, depends on the state, but 9%, which means it would take them, now write this down, 18 years just in this, give you the same growth as you would with 9% for the first year with National Western. And what I was going to factor into is tax equivalent yields, which I'll talk about next week. But if you add that in, it'd probably take 24 years, wouldn't it, Paul, for them to equal what you can do in 1 year. So I'm saying that once you learn this, it's going to be exciting. You can't wait to go tell people the good news of how to grow their assets.
And you know what? A lot of times, James, we talk about all we're asking our clients to do is to change the address of their money to the National Western Life building behind me from their bank building. And in doing so, instead of getting $50 on a $100,000 deposit, that's what 50 basis points pays, ladies and gentlemen, they would get $5,000 to $9,000 off right off the start. That's amazing. You can do it. Don't have to be bright. Don't have to be a genius, but you can do that and help people. Also, want to make sure you know, coming soon, we'll have 5 and 7 year products. Why is that important? Well, these are shorter duration products. Sometimes people get a little reluctant to do an annuity because it's a longer term commitment. Our typical products go from anywhere from 9 to 15 years. Now, if people want a lifetime income, it doesn't matter how long the product is, but still, sometimes there's a stigma or a reluctance to make that long of a commitment. So, okay, let's not fight it. Let's embrace it. And we're going to have 5 and 7 year products. That means they can buy a product, accumulate, and after 5 years, get all their money out, do something else with it. Similar with the 7 year product. So keep that in mind. And then the single premium life that I talked about earlier, death benefit, and then pool of funds for chronic care, accelerated benefits, the new kind of life insurance that you're typically selling with your ULs and IULs on the platform that provide living benefits. My product does that as well. So let's talk about that, James. We just mentioned what that would mean. So here's an idea along with that. Using the bonuses, real money bonuses in our products, you can add to our fixed rate. Now, we're not even going to talk about indexed rates that may be better, but just guaranteed. You can guarantee your friends, your family, your prospects, your clients anywhere from nearly 4%, depending upon the product, to almost 11% in guaranteed growth, real money in their account by simply using the fixed rate account. In this case, anywhere from 1.65% to 2%. That's heck of a lot more than a bank. And then bonusing that money on top of that so you get these incredible yields in a low interest rate environment. Let's briefly talk about the product menu, ladies and gentlemen. What I want you to take away here, again, I don't really need you to know the products. James Rankin is your annuity expert. I just want you to know some of the things that we can do, and we'll reveal what those are in just a little bit. But understand here that I got all kinds of products, some with bonuses, some with other features, some that are shorter, some that are longer. And ultimately, what you need to determine is, what does the client want most? Do they want accumulation? Do they want liquidity, meaning ability to get their money in and out of the product? Do they want growth and accumulation over time? Do they want income? So any of and all those things, you do not have to be the annuity expert. I want you to be the relationship expert. I want you to be the prospecting expert and talk about these concepts in general. Get some basic facts. James, tell them about, you have I think a fact finder as well, a needs analysis sheet. Tell them about that.
No, absolutely. One of the things that you're going to be, and I know you say it because you don't want to intimidate people, but I want to empower you to be confident. You want to have annuity confidence and life insurance confidence, because people want to deal with people that have confidence, that know their products, and have a team of people like Case and other people that are there to help you. So you do the fact finding, and we'll go over that next week, but it's asking those questions. We have a whole series of questions to really get to know that client. And it's not only that, Paul, it's knowing how to ask the question. There's so many agents that I've trained, they just kind of go through it flippantly. No, you want to take an interest in that client. You want to make eye contact. You got to let them know, I'm here for you. I care about you. So let's focus on you. Let me ask you a question. How long have you had this money in the CD? Do you have a particular purpose for this money? Okay. When are you going to need to have access to it? So it's a series of questions to basically build the case that annuity would be a better fit for them. And I always say, you don't want to put all their money in any one investment. What we're looking to do is help them diversify to get tax control over a percentage, and then earmark their objectives with the time frame of the money.
Perfect, James, and that's awesome. So the key here is, you have an annuity expert. You have back room. You have my back room at the company. You have James' back room at the design place. So it's all good. So ultimately, this is where we're looking to get, is what category does your client fall into? What are they most interested in? Is it income? Are they approaching retirement? Are they like me? Do they want to pay their future self using the annuity time machine? Do they want liquidity? Meaning, do they want the feeling that they can get money out at any time? We have products that focus on that. Do they want growth, upside potential? We can provide that as well. James.
Yeah, Paul, it's really fascinating. One of the things we used to use quite a bit, and you've captured it, but this is another way to frame it. And that is, when you're sitting down with your client, you want to ask them, do they need income now, income later, or income never? And either way, you're going to be in business because you have products to help them along the way. And by the way, Case and I spoke earlier, we'll do the single premium during the 30th. So we'll be able to cover that product with you, which I think is tremendous, especially with older people, to take cash values out of old policies and have a paid up policy. It'd be remarkable. Thank you.
Thank you, James. All right, so let's talk about the key feature that we have to offer here is intelligent income with 5% growth. That's right. We have guarantees that will grow your client's money at 5% compounded over time for lifetime income purposes only. Keep that in mind. Those two things are linked. The 5% growth is for lifetime income. They're not going to be able to walk away with it entirely. They'll be able to walk away with it over the course of their lifetime. So relative to what we do, and this is maybe gets into the weeds a little bit, but understand that we do not have income products per se. We have special riders that you can add on to any of our products. And so why is that important? Well, it's important that you can have the underlying features of the product, like a bonus, like liquidity, and still offer income in addition. Excuse me. So those are the things. Not only that, if the clients get sick or hurt, their payments will double if they're confined to a nursing home. So, in an indirect way, this is kind of a nice way to plan for nursing home care as well, using money that's protected and grows guaranteed over time. Now, we have two riders. Now, some people on this call are familiar with annuities. You're familiar with income riders. You may be new to it. So don't worry about it if you kind of go, man, this is a little bit hard to understand. Just understand that you have a mechanism to provide an income, James, that the client cannot outlive.
Paul, this is, I'm going to be brutally honest here and tell you that this is the perfect time to be in the annuity business. Paul and I have been in the industry a long time. We didn't have any of this when we sold annuities. I mean, we had, the way the annuities were back in the old days, they were really not that attractive, except for the tax deferral. Nowadays, you have the power to help your clients guarantee a rate of growth and a guaranteed distribution amount. I just think that's remarkable. You're literally building them a plan for the future that they will never outlive. You know what kind of confidence that gives that person and how much belief they're going to have in you that you took care of them. And you can do that with these products. I'm telling you, there's not a better time. There really is not. So congratulations, everybody, for getting in it, seeing the wisdom of marketing this along with your life insurance.
Awesome. And so, James, as you know, we have two riders. One is very unique in that, to get that 5%, to get that lifetime income, that private pension-like benefit, there's a fee that we charge, and most carriers charge it. But with us, on our main rider, Income Outlook, if you don't make any money, we don't charge you. That's really unique. And that means that whatever the client puts in is protected. Whatever earnings they earn over time, net of the fee, that's protected as well. And they get the 5% guaranteed growth. Now, we have a second rider that does all that and offers a 5% premium bonus. So if the product offers a 9% premium bonus, James, I'm coming at you. We're going to do some math here.
Absolutely. I got it down.
Offers a 9% premium bonus, and the rider gives a 5% premium bonus. How much total bonus do they have?
Yeah, you literally have 14 percentage points on the premium. Plus, don't forget, that's growing at a guaranteed rate of 5%. It's remarkable. But let me add to that, Paul, if I may. You mentioned no fee if there's no growth. One thing that's very important, don't let fees throw you off. Because remember, if I'm putting money into an annuity and I have an income rider, when I take income, I'm going to take 100% of every penny I put in. There's no deduction of a fee to my income. The fee is deducted on my surrender or my death. So for a client buying it, it doesn't matter what the fee is. You could charge me 5% and I still come out way ahead because I'm the one taking the income. You follow? So
good. And then, James, this is kind of goes hand in hand here. What this means now, we're using the bonuses. We're using the roll-up rate. I'm not even adding the bonus from the other rider, just a basic rider that we have to offer. And now you can see even more growth when you count the 5% compounding plus the bonus, anywhere from 10 to 14.5% growth for lifetime income purposes only, and over 5 years, guaranteed. This is guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen, contractually guaranteed. 34, 36.56%, even 39% growth over 5 years because of that. And then whatever that pool of value is, they can draw down to make an income they can't outlive. And this is an example of what that looks like. You see money coming in, We put a bonus on it. We're using that 100,000 again, 5% growth over time. And then every year, by the way, every year that they wait, the more money they can take out over the lifetime. It's basic illustration here, basic calculation. That money grows to 139,000. Their withdrawal rate, their drawdown rate is 5.5%. And James, tell them what happens when that value goes to zero. What happens?
Yeah, what's amazing, and this is a great example, and if you can take anything away today, this would be what you take away, because so many people cannot get their head around it. I want you to write this number down: $139,114.69. Now, if you had that in a bank and you withdrew $7,651.31, how much would be left in the principal? Okay, do you have that number? Okay, understand this, that with an income rider, their account balance will always be $139,114.69. Now, if you take the 76, how long would it take you to deplete that? And I'm doing the numbers in my head. I would say about 16 years. So 16 years, you've depleted it. However, according to National Western, you still have $139,114.69 paying you $76.51, even if the account goes to zero. What other investment will do that? I don't know of one. So this really is remarkable for that percentage of their income that they absolutely need to have. Now, other investments, Paul, right? If I have discretionary, I'll put that in an investment, and if the market's up, I take a cruise. If the market's down, I stay home and watch TV. But I know that this money will be there to pay my light bill, my food, my taxes, anything that I need. I should put into an annuity because I know it's guaranteed. It's not going anywhere, especially with National Western's financial. I mean, they got over $12 billion, one of the best capital surpluses in the industry. So please remember that. The account never goes down for the client, ever. So
well said, James. Well said. And here's a little chart. We did some work for you, and this is why we're on the platform. And thank you, Case, for putting us on there. This is a comparison of the 12 leading carriers out there that provide this type of benefit. You remember the old XY axis. So on the left-hand side, the X-axis, you see ages, 55, 59, 60, 61. And then on the Y-axis, the horizontal axis, you see years that you wait to trigger income. What I want you to do is kind of run your finger down to, let's do age 65, okay? And we go 1 year out. Guess who's number one for lifetime income? We are. National Western Life. How about 2 years out? We're number one. 3 years wait, then trigger income. We're number one again. 4, 5, 6. We're number one. Ladies and gentlemen, and then even in later years, we're still very, very strong. So we have a particular strength. So if you have people in your family, in your network, in your prospect base that are in or near retirement, we are the number one solve. I couldn't, it's validated, it's verified. Don't get anybody else. That's what we're really good at. All right. We do some other things as well. And we're going to just touch upon these. And what I want you to do is, the purpose here is that you will feel confident that no matter what your client's needs are, lifetime income, really good. Liquidity, strong. And then even just growth, safe growth, pretty good at that as well. And so we have provisions in our annuities. Now, we have some annuities that have all of these things. Some of our other ones just have some of these things. But my point here is that one of the objections to annuities is, I can't get at my money. What if there's an emergency? What if the tornado comes, the northeaster comes? Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? Well, the reality is that no matter what, in most annuities, you can get at most of your money if you need it. The question is there a penalty? Is there some carrying charge to do that? So we have a lot of different things in here. We have penalty-free withdrawals, but we actually have a product where that penalty-free withdrawal grows over time. It's called a cumulative withdrawal. Did you know that all our annuities at National Western Life have a 60% policy loan provision that you can get your money out by way of a loan up to 60% of the value? There's no other company that has that provision as broadly and as generously as we do. How about if you get sick or hurt and are in a medical or hospital situation, you can get on some of our products, not all of them, this is a particular feature on some of them, 75% medical stay waiver, get 75% of the contract value out. All our contracts, if you're terminally ill, diagnosed with that, they'll pay out the death benefit today, even though you're still with us and you have a diagnosis and maybe you spend that money on medical care or maybe that bucket list that you need to do. We even have products with an accidental death benefit. We also have something I'll expand on earlier. You know, sometimes people go, man, you know, I love that bonus, but with our bonuses, those tend to be longer term products. Well, we have a get out of jail free feature called annuitization. It's different than the income, just another way to get money out of the contract. But you can annuitize, say, time out, start sending me money without penalty. It's without penalty. That's the key. RMDs, what's an RMD? That's a required minimum distribution. With retirement plans today, if you reach age 72, you have to take money out. The government tells you to do that. And if you even start with us and you need an RMD, even in year one, we'll pay it and we won't charge back the commission either. And then an income rider. I think income riders are ultimate liquidity benefits because they're going to pay you money. So keep that in mind. So when do you need liquidity? This is the thing, emergencies. What if there's inflation? What if you can make 10% at the bank? Market reentry, new products, fun. And a lot of our provisions do not require permission. In other words, you don't have to have a precursor qualifying event. Some of them you do, like the medical stay waiver, but the cumulative withdrawal, the policy loan, you just want some money. You can get money out. Upside potential in our annuities here, and for our purposes here, again, I don't want you to be an expert on any one product. I want you to be an expert on knowing your client, on knowing your prospect, and knowing what they need. Remember, income, flexibility and liquidity, or accumulation. What you need to know is that we can deliver competitive interest. I showed you on a guaranteed basis in the first year that we can provide even double-digit guaranteed returns using the bonus. That's real money. I showed you that we have 5% guaranteed growth. Now that's just for the income side of the account. Now there's a thing called the accumulation account. It's kind of the real money account. And what we have here is just to show you that we have strategies that can provide a portion of an index growth designed to compete favorably with other fixed rate types of products. Now let's talk about some of our market niches. Here's something here. Annuities for babies. Now, do I literally mean babies? And the answer is, well, in theory, yes. With our products, you could actually buy an annuity for a baby. A grandparent could buy an annuity and make the baby, their grandchild, the annuitant. Because in our contracts, the annuitant is the measuring life. Now, is that a real big market? No, it's not. It's a play on a concept, which is for my new friend Tasha at 25. Guess what? To me, you're a baby. And what we're talking about here is that our annuities have no minimum age for eligibility. That income rider, that annuity time machine feature that allows you to pay your future self, there's no minimum age to add that onto an annuity. So many of you might say, oh, well, I'm young, I got nobody that's thinking about that. Hey, if you've had any of your friends change jobs, their retirement plan is in motion. You can help them today. You can actually help your 25-year-old self, Tasha, 30, 35, 40, 45-year-old self, put a plan together that will grow and accumulate for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's the key here in thinking about we can help older people for sure, in or near retirement. That's kind of a layup. But you can also help younger people with their money that is set aside for their future retirement, helping them pay their future self. Now, here's another play on what we do. We have baby annuities. And what that means is we have products with lower minimums. So, for example, you can start a program with us for $2,000 for qualified money. What's qualified money? That's money that's recognized as the government as a retirement plan, that the client likely gets a tax deduction or other tax benefits for. That's qualified. That means an IRA, a 401k, a 403b, any type of plan that gets government recognition, that's qualified. That's a qualified. And all it takes with us is $2,000 to start one of those with us. What's non-qualified? Non-qualified is just money. Money is non-qualified. So if it's not qualified money, all other money is non-qualified. Then keep in mind that our products are flexible premium. We talked about that earlier. So you can add to those accounts with as little as $100 a month. So you don't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars. I hope that you do, but you don't have to. So keep that in mind as well. 5-year annuities, we're going to literally have a 5-year annuity. So if people don't want to lock their money up, but I want to show you that we have features that even on our longer term products, like the Ultra Future, like the Ultra Classic, that are longer, 15 and 13 years, you can actually start taking money out early, get this, without penalty. That's really cool. So I'll give you an example of that. A couple more things and then we'll wrap it up. We also do borderless business. Now, Case, I know you're based in Minnesota. You have agents all across the country. You have people coming to see you, visit, even in the COVID crisis, maybe they drove. What I mean by borderless business, that is you can do business with anybody you're with in the state you're licensed in. So let's say somebody came over from North or South Dakota to Minnesota and they wanted to buy an annuity. Can you sell them an annuity? Yes, you can. Do they have to make up an address that they live in Minnesota? No. We have a special form, and so keep that in mind. I made a mistake. I used Minnesota in Minnesota's. Well, actually, this would work in Minnesota because what that would mean is if they come to Minnesota, you can do that. For Minnesota residents, if you go to North Dakota, you can't do it. So you have that. But I'll give you an example even better. I'm here in Texas, and in Texas, we have a thing called winter Texans. Those are people that come from Nebraska and Iowa in winter here in Texas, usually down along the Rio Grande in South Texas. And we could sell them products here based in Texas while they're here. So we have a form. My point is depending upon where you are, if people come see you, you can do business with them. We have that ability to do that. Suitability, that's a process that just reviews your policies here. We have a very good suitability process. James and his team can make sure that your clients qualify for the products and services. And ultimately, suitability is a good thing. We want to do right by your clients. And that's why we have all those different products, ladies and gentlemen, that can serve your clients' needs uniquely, either income, liquidity, or accumulation. So keep those things in mind. We're going to save this for another time, but I'm going to tease you with this. We have a very unique product that's really good for older people that have money on the sidelines that they want to put aside, protect, control, grow, and then maybe use to help fund for their long-term care and home health care. It's a hybrid type of product, very unique. You're going to love it, and we're going to talk about it on the 30th at the end of the month. So keep those things in mind. If you want to get excited, take a look at the rates of return that we paid on this product earlier this year, 13.7, 16.98, 10%. Again, we're not going to get into it. Just know we got a great product to help do that, that performs and provides leveraged death benefits tax-free as well as benefits for chronic and critical illness. It's great. So we'll see that. Ultimately, we close with this, James. What does NWL stand for? You are the master of acronyms. NWL stands for No Waiting Line. Ladies and gentlemen, Next Vision Financial, we are ready for your business. We want your business. We want you to tune in next week on the session that we're going to do there. And oh, by the way, whenever you come to Austin, come visit your money. We're there in Austin, Texas. There's the Austin skyline. You see our building behind us in North Central Austin. And if some of you are in Texas, man, it's a great reason to do business with us because your clients can come visit their money anytime. James, give them a preview of what they can expect next week.
No, I appreciate that. And what I was going to mention also, I want to get with Case and perhaps we can put together an incentive trip to have everyone come to Austin, see the home office. There's something special about that. When you're talking to your client and you're able to tell them, I've been there, I did my due diligence, I've met them, they're super people, very innovative products and great customer service people. It's just going to be, it's what I'm going to talk about next week, Paul, is the experience that you give your client when it comes to annuities. And let me tell you a quick story. It's something you can use with your clients, but it's about coffee. How many people out there drink coffee? You drink it every day, most likely, right? I always tell people I drink coffee for medicinal purposes only. It prevents caffeine headaches. What do you think about it? But think about coffee. If I were to go to Colombia and pick a coffee bean off a bush and crush it and make coffee, how much would that cup of coffee cost me? And the answer is probably about 2 cents, if that. All right, but let's say that I take a bunch of coffee beans and I crush them up and I stick it in a can and we put it on a shelf. What did I do there? I went from a commodity to a product. And that coffee is probably going to cost me maybe 8 cents a cup. Would you agree with that? But how about this? How about if we brew it and we pour it into a glass? Now what do you have? Well, you've turned a commodity to a product to a service, and now it's going to cost about $1.50. Do you agree? That's Denny's. They pour it in a glass. There it is. But think about this. The next evolution is Starbucks. You go to Starbucks, you're going to spend $4.50 to $5 for a cup of coffee, but you're not buying the coffee, are you, Paul? You're buying the experience. You're buying the atmosphere and all the things that they've built to make Starbucks a very special place to drink coffee. And the same thing applies with you. You have the ability to create that experience for your clients where they're going to buy life insurance from you. They're going to buy annuities. They're going to buy retirement plans and P&C or whatever else you have. But it's all about the experience. And if you're cognizant of that, you're going to improve it dramatically. And that's what we want to do next week is talk about how to create a perfect experience along with an irresistible message. And that's what we'll do next week. So it'll be a lot of fun.
So let's close with this case. And what I'm going to challenge you all now, we've done 2 sessions. We've talked about annuities. We've talked about some of the special things that we can do with the National Western Life portfolio. Now you're about the time where you need to be talking to people. You need to be calling James and go, you know what? Can you run a quote? Can you give me an illustration? My cousin has $50,000 in his 401k. He's changing jobs or he's thinking about retirement. How much income can you get for him? I've got somebody that just complained to me about they're hardly making any money in the bank, and they got about $5,000 that they could pretty much put anywhere. Do you have something that would pay them more, that would provide them with more benefits, maybe a bonus? Call James on that. So now is the time to stop learning and start doing. We're going to be here to teach you. We're going to be here to support you. But it does no good if it's just all up here. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. We're the experts. James is the expert. You just need to know where the client is, male or female. A lot of times it doesn't matter, but sometimes it's helpful to know how much money and what do they want to accomplish. Is it protection? Is it accumulation? Is it lifetime income? Is it flexibility and liquidity? And James, from the annuity portfolio that is offered, will come up with the best solution you could ever possibly hope to offer. So that's my challenge for you between now and next week. Let's get some cases. Let's get some proposals. Let's do some things there. You can help some people right away. Right now, people are thinking about year end. They're thinking about maybe making an IRA contribution. You know, all those kinds of things. Money is in motion, ladies and gentlemen, and it's your obligation to put it in the right place at the right time in the right way. I'm Paul Garofoli, Vice President of National Accounts with National Western Life. He's James Rankin, author, lecturer, playwright, and trainer extraordinaire. James, bring us home.
No, I appreciate that. I want to thank everybody for being with us. I hope this met your expectations. In case, once again, we appreciate the opportunity. We're not going to let you down. This is going to be a tremendous opportunity for brokers to expand their own income, expand their service, and also really help Next Financial. So we're excited about that. So thank you again. It's going to be exciting next week, so don't miss it, and bring a friend, if you will. Thanks.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you, Paul. I like that idea. Hey, James, I like the idea of the incentive coming to the home office too. So let's think about that. Let's think about that.
Absolutely.
And maybe sometime next week or the following week after the training, we can put something up together for the team.
You got it, my friend. I'll get it done.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.